bucks 3 weeks ago. Now into even money. Been belted into submission here, boys, and goes to the barriers. A very, very warm favourite. A little bit of money around for Chautauqua, the old boy. In her time's been nice and solid. So too English with that devastating turn of foot. Can she...
Great race, the 2017 Manikato Stakes. What a beauty it is. Weight for age, over $1 million, 1,200 metres. Group 1 race. And here is the star that is.
Yeah, well, the money's now starting to come, boys, for the big grey. Chautauqua at Bet365. The punters rallying behind the old champ himself, who will probably need to produce one of his best performances to get the cash tonight. No drifting.
Money for Vega Magic. Chautauqua obviously into $750 now. Got out to $850 with Crown Bet. In her time, $657. So they're the three in the market. But Chautauqua's had some good late support here.
On Chautauqua as well. I can't believe Chautauqua's $7. Interesting, there's some money around for it. There's a host of others you can make a case for, but I think the cream will rise to the top.
Long push, the mounting yards heaving here as we build up towards the Manikato Stakes. We're a couple of minutes out, and Terry Bailey, you've got a wonderful view.
They're all set. Vega Magic runs to delay the attendance run around the back. It's English out of the gate. He was drawn away from English, so he's got a little restless maybe. Don't think there's too much wrong with Chautauqua, but we'll find out. Dunn's out of the very big decision or two to make here. Chautauqua walking away from the barriers. Dunn throwing his hands in the air. This could be bad. What's going to happen? The vet at the moment having... Rightio, big news coming through. Chautauqua's out. Chautauqua is out. The vet has said he cannot run. He's not fit, and English past fit to run. Chautauqua's a late scratching. We were informed that he was okay to run. Now he's out. English is in. Wow, what a start to the Manikato. They're ready. Racing. Malaguera flew the leads. Rock Magic out fast. In her time began reasonably, and Vega Magic will have to work hard to get across because Haydock is burning turf. Haydock from the outside leads Vega Magic in her time, and not far away is Rock Magic. A length and a half further back for Dora. They were followed by Speed, then came Super Cash. English is third, last and 2 lengths away to Malaguera after flying the lids. Down the side of the track, and it's Haydock in charge. 650 out. He leads by a length on Vega Magic. One away, Rock Magic. In her time on the fence over Vidora. English pulling out, Super Cash wide. Then Speed and Malaguera the last one. Haydock in front. He's giving them something to run down the doctor. Haydock by a length. Under pressure, Vega Magic on the fence looking for a run in her time. Then came Rock Magic. Haydock in front. Vega Magic's under desperate riding. Rock Magic's running on within her time. Haydock the front runner. In her time trying hard. Malaguera flying. Haydock in front. In her time lunging. Tony McAvoy take a bow. Haydock wins the Manikato. In her time second. Malaguera third. Bedora fourth, and Vega Magic cracked. Then came Rock Magic and Speed. A long way back English. And alongside of it Super Cash, and Chautauqua out at the barriers. What a run. What a training performance by Tony McAvoy. Coming back from the mile to the track that he loves racing at. His 2 wins of the Valley have been 1,500 and 1,600 metres. And tonight they hit the go button out of the gates, and it's won them.
Turn, and Haydock's back.
Yeah, just goes to show, you know, how smart a trainer Tony McAvoy is. He knew he wasn't running the trip out over the mile, and he went complete other way, brought him back, freshened him up, and has done such a great training effort.
You and Tony have had
Huge win, mate.
Yeah, that was very exciting, Richo. He's a very good horse. We thought he was a genuine Group 1 horse. We were a bit confused by him in the mile race. We decided to come back to sprinting, and it came off for us. It was fabulous.
And a great ride by Luke. Could you believe that the lead that he got, and also how easy he got?
Yeah, look, that wasn't the plan. The plan we thought he'd be forward. but he began really well, and Luke was out on a bit of a limb. He pressed on, trusted his horse, and yeah, it was fabulous.
Well, you've captured a
call of Chautauqua, scratched just moments before the gates were opened. There wasn't too much fallout from the Hawks team on Friday night, but Shane Anderson spoke with co-trainer Wayne Hawks today at Moonee Valley.
There was a lot of drama last night. Is the horse okay?
Shane, the horse is perfect. We thought he was perfect after the race, and we went home and rang our resident vet, who met us all when the horse got back in the stables, and we trotted him up and did all the flexion tests on him, and he trotted out perfect. So did all the same process this morning, and our Sydney vet, who does Chris Waller's stable, happens to be here for obviously one race today in the Cox Plate, and Ross had a look at Chautauqua as well, and he knows him inside out, being the Sydney vet, and he put a veterinary certificate in saying it was fine, and we even had the physio who's down, and he went over him as well and said he couldn't fold him. And to top it all off, Britt McDonald, who rides in work, said that he felt as good as he did Friday morning, just a little bit fresher.
Understandably, you didn't make a comment this morning. What did Dwayne Dunn say to you after the incident in the barriers?
He just said that he got his leg up, and that was all fine. There was no problems here. He was actually sitting on him. I thought, gee, I better get off him, and he stood up in the uprights. They got his leg down. Then they wanted to pull him out and have a look at him, and Dwayne wanted to stay on the horse and trot him up, because I've said it to you many a time, he's an unusual character, Chautauqua. He's got his own mind and own attitude, and Dwayne said, look, if you jump off him, he will be fractious. But the vet wanted him to jump off, and so he did what he was told. And then we all saw what happened, where he nearly kicked the tractor with his back leg, and he didn't kick the tractor, luckily, but the vet said that he was lame there, and he got his leg up, and they duly scratched him. So
we like to see him again this
TJ. I wish he would. He'll run next year in the 4th TJ. Hopefully, he'll run the Darley on the last day.
Right, Wayne. Really appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
Big thanks there to Wayne Hawks for providing that update to everyone concerning Chautauqua, because he's such a popular horse, and the decision on Friday night, rightly or wrongly, was one that had many people reacting in various ways, and good to get the situation cleared up at this point.
Well, the crowd actually booed.
They had a bit of everything. It's Manikato. Before the race, Chautauqua in English played up in the gates. Chautauqua was sensationally scratched. Protest after the race. But in the end, Hey Doc grabbed another Group 1, and Tony McAvoy and Luke Curry combined. As we picked them up around the home turn, it's Hey Doc leading, in her time behind the leader, Vega Magic outside the leader, and Malaguera is back last on the fence.
Yeah, not having much luck as well, but look, he just took no prisoners there, didn't he, Curry? I know he broke the rules doing so, but it was a winning move firing out. For some reason in the back of my head, someone said that he was going to be ridden cold from that outside barrier, so I don't know what, and maybe it was just me hearing something wrong there, but a great training performance, freshened back up, back to a track that he likes. 1,200 metres. They've worked out he's not a stayer, and he's obviously a very, very good sprinter, and especially around Moonee Valley. Now, in her time, make a case she should have won. When Vega Magic sort of missed the start a little bit, I think Corey was saying, well, where is he? And then he caught them napping. Curry on Hey Doc crossing there, so you can make it. She is so brave in her time, an unbelievable mare, and lucky as well. We're working with a track that you had to be in that lane. It wasn't a good track. It was hard. It was hard again on Saturday. No.
The question is if they threw it back to Team Hawks and said, we've got this horse behind the gates, I have a query about him, what do you want to run?
No, they can't say that,
but
no.
I mean, imagine if they did do that, would they, if the ball was in their court and they were taking the risk and they were making the decision at that point in time, would they run?
Well, they're not around there.
No, I know that, but hypothetically, you've got to put yourself in as you were saying, it's the vet's, it's her neck on the line, and she's got not only the horse and not only the connections, but she's also got to look after the punters. So that is her call.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I was at Musselbrook on...
Of course.
The late, great Bede Murray went to his grave.
Exactly.
Adamant that Universal Prince should never have been scratched from that Melbourne Cup.
Some horses need a lot of warming up, but look, these vets are they're employed to judge their actions, and if they're lame, they're lame.
The vet on call. Hey Doc comes across. Vega Magic in the centre. Does Corey get much of a bump there?
He gets intimidated a bit. It was Vega Magic that cops it. I reckon Curry was very lucky only get 10 meetings there. That was intent. That was intent of, you know, shortening a few up on that first turn. And
Nash said he was a bit rudderless.
I think the question is, what about, you know, Vega Magic? He was declared unbeatable by nearly everyone, including myself. I want to be forgiving. I reckon he got put off his game there when that horse gave it to him. When he missed the start.
I think he can stamp himself as a horse to beat on the first Tuesday of November. $2.20 bet at 9 a.m. this morning with the boys at Bet365. Now $1.95 chance for the Darren Weir trained stayer. If you're looking for one at odds.
A wonderful honour roll set for the Moonee Valley Gold Cup. The Mac Cafe ready and they're racing. Big Duke on the inside began cleanly. So too Orvray towards the outside. Kiss Montaigne is driving forward and will lead at a saunter from Orvray, and they were followed next in the field by Pentathlon. Big Duke next the inside. 2 lengths Who Shot the Barman, followed by Cool Chap, who's next on the rails and relaxes well. Pentathlon fourth the outside. Then Cool Chap, who'll just need a little bit of luck from Who Shot the Barman, and LeBron at the end. So off the back, 800 metres to go. There has been no change since they settled. Kiss Montaigne by a length and a quarter Orvray. Then Big Duke. Pentathlon eases out 3 deep, the first to make a move. Who Shot the Barman latched immediately onto its back. Then came Cool Chap, who gets off the fence as a result at the 550, and LeBron is at the end. So it's Kiss Montaigne under the whip, tries to quicken from Orvray. Pentathlon 3 deep. Who Shot the Barman a half length away, about to make a line of 4. Big Duke needs a run. So too Cool Chap and LeBron. They'd only cover 2 lengths the field around the turn at the 250. Kiss Montaigne, Orvray, Pentathlon, Who Shot the Barman, LeBron to the outside. Big Duke needs a run in the straight, 100 to go. Who Shot the Barman up to Kiss Montaigne, but LeBron's the danger. Who Shot the Barman's kicking in the middle. Who Shot the Barman has won it by a long neck. LeBron, Kiss Montaigne, Big Duke up for 4 from Cool Chap, Pentathlon and Orvray. Who Shot the Barman, $8 and $2.90, and Blake Shin is in the zone with 3 in a row. Defeats LeBron, Kiss Montaigne and Big Duke. Who Shot? What a terrific little horse he's been, the 9-year-old, with Blake Shin riding in great heart. A race that didn't...
It was a slow race from the outset. Kiss Montaigne tried to stack them up and sprint away. It got a very, very messy for Big Duke on the inside, and Who Shot the Barman was able to sail over the top.
Yeah, it was Dylan Walker's speed early on. BZ minus, what do they go, 8 lengths below benchmark for Kiss Montaigne, which I think is too slow for a horse like him. He sort of just likes to roll along, and they were able to catch him napping, and also spilt massive dramas for Big Duke, who was in behind that speed and had absolutely no clear running to try and quicken. What it did mean, though, is that the horses that got that slingshot into the race, the Who Shot the Barmans and the Librans, or Libran, however you want to pronounce it, they were just able to get a free card into the race. They didn't have to spend any pennies in the run to get there, really, and they were strong to the line. He's gone, look, he's still reeled off his last 400 in +8, which is pretty good. As you can see there, an overall about +2.6. He's obviously heading towards the Melbourne Cup. What these horses have had is what we call a big mid-race squeeze, which typically brings a horse on. That's where they don't have to do too much work until the 800-metre mark, and then all of a sudden they're expected to quicken. But because they went so slow...
He's set to contest another cup. How many cups does he contest?
This will be 4.
And he's
this will be 4.
Yeah, look, and he'll be running in the first 10 as he does every year, picking up a bit of superannuation for himself. He's just a beauty. He seems to be better on the drier tracks these days. He was regarded as a bit of a wet tracker earlier in his career. A bit of a return to form from Libran there. Big Duke, a horse I was thinking he was one of the better long shot chances in the Melbourne Cup. I know he's won at the Valley, but it's not his track. He's a big track horse. He was on the fence there, and I think he just wanted to I think Brenton said that he wanted to get off the track on every turn, so he wasn't sort of...
Yeah, he says hung out making the turns in the stewards report.
Yeah, so he's not at home on that tight churning track. Don't be surprised if he jumps out of the ground on the bigger Flemington track. So a hard horse, a hard race.
It was the best of the afternoon for me, race number 8 here at Moonee Valley.
Yeah, the punters opened up $5 with Bet365 earlier this week into $4.40 this morning, just getting out a fraction of $4.60, but boys reporting still a pretty good push. Now, these two front runners, Religify and Burning Front, well, they said the $8 that Bet365 put up about the Burning Front a couple of days.
And racing at the 1600 metres, Religify began very quickly, wants a piece of the action with Burning Front, who's just going to get its bib in front of Religify after 150 metres. 3 further back, Sound Proposition, followed by on the inside It's Somewhat as they head towards the back from Lucky Hustler. Then Calderon, Petrology, Windspell and Antonio Giuseppe. Religify is going to hold the front here. They've gone quite hard. 1200 metres out, Religify, 3/4 Burning Front, 6 or 7 Sound Proposition, It's Somewhat. 2 lengths to Lucky Hustler would be lapping this up. 4. So Religify looking for a breather. Comes towards the top corner at the 850 by a length Burning Front. 6 lengths Sound Proposition on the outside of It's Somewhat. A length and a half Lucky Hustler. 2 lengths Calderon, Antonio Giuseppe. Then came Petrology and Windspell to the side of the course at the 600. Religify being softened up by Burning Front. Their 3 lengths Sound Proposition, It's Somewhat. Followed further back by Lucky Hustler, Antonio Giuseppe, Calderon, Windspell, Petrology. But Religify coming up towards the turn at the 350, 3/4 Burning Front. Lucky Hustler's ambling up on the outside, 3 deep. They were followed by Sound Proposition and It's Somewhat. Around the turn, Religify's been softened and Lucky Hustler glides on by. Lucky Hustler with 100 metres to go has taken the lead from Religify. It's Somewhat, Windspell late, but it's all the Hustler. Lucky Hustler's going to bolt in. Scored by 2.5. Religify, It's Somewhat and Sound Proposition. Then Burning Front, Windspell, Antonio Giuseppe, Calderon and Petrology. Lucky Hustler, it's Blake Shin again. He's ridden 4. He's ridden 4 and will be ridden 4 and will be on Humidor in the Cox Plate. What a day at the office. 4 on Cox Plate Day is nothing.
These first 2 backing up.
Well, they went very, very hard in the early stages. Have you got any benchmark times for this particular race?
No, they haven't come through just yet, BZ, because Vince focused quite rightly on the Cox Plate for us. But I don't think it takes a genius to work out that these guys have gone very quick in front. And Religify, well, he's just an absolute warhorse. And have a look at the way that Lucky Hustler has travelled into this run. If you're betting in the run, and I know there's plenty of punters out there that are these days, he was just so comfortable in behind Sound Proposition. It Somewhat was heavily backed into favouritism. You can see him 3rd back on the inside. He was chasing and out of his comfort zone to try and hold his position and just didn't have the ability to show a turn of foot. But you can see now, Blake Shin would almost be laughing to himself, thinking, how easy is this going to be in the last season? He's giggling. He's putting those 2 blokes in front on his Christmas card list. I think with It Somewhat as well, BC's Simon Marshall pointed out during the bull ring today that he still looked a little bit tubby in the yard. I know he was well supported, but he is second up. He's at a mile. If he is carrying a bit of condition, I know he's got form previously, but to have to sort of sit a few lengths off a hectic speed like that, maybe it's just too much for him second up. I wouldn't drop off him just yet. I reckon there's a win in him.
And they went crazy up in front. It was Religify and Burning Front, and Lucky Hustler was always travelling, and he produced his best yesterday.
Yeah, well, 2 control freaks got at each other in front here with Burning Front and Religify, and they were a sitting shot. And Lucky Hustler with a charm run again given to him by Blake Shin. Back in form. We know he's a legitimate Group 1 horse when he's right, and he wins running away there, but obviously the race was set up for him as it was on paper. Religify was his usual brave self there. It's Somewhat. Maybe just the strength of that, not the strength, the way that race was run was just a little bit too much for him second up there with the high pressure race. But nice horse, back in form. We know how good he is when he's right.
Let's hear.
Yeah, she's on the drift a bit here, Aloysia. $2.70 with Bet365 originally, now out to $3, as you can see on your screen there. All the cash has come for Cliff's Edge since markets went up during the week. Was $4.40, bang into $2.50, just getting out to $2.60 now, but he's been very...
Ready to go. Set racing. Wolf Tone didn't jump well and then brushed into Grand Casino, and also on its outside the Sledgehammer. Beginning quickly on the outside, Cliff's Edge is going to zoom across and lead. From behind it, Aloysia, Vinda Dance and Solsamore out wide, followed by Sanction for Koalas. Then came Pissarro, the Sledgehammer, Grand Casino, and Wolf Tone is last. So they're midway between turns at the 950. Cliff's Edge in front by a length and a quarter. From in second place Selsamore, and if anything, Cliff's Edge just quickens off the back. Followed then by Aloysia, and next Vinda Dance. Just getting a reminder there from Ollie. Further back along the inside, 4 Koalas and Sanction. 2 lengths Pissarro, the Sledgehammer. Next Wolf Tone on the inside of Grand Casino. So Cliff's Edge is the pilot. 600 metres to go has kept them honest. 3/4 of a length Selsamore. Then came poised behind them Aloysia. Just needs a little bit of luck and a little bit of room. Followed then by Sanctioned, and next Vinda Dance. Cliff's Edge approaches the bend. 300 metres out. Aloysia off his back, and now the race is on. 2 further back is Selsamore into the straight. 200 out. Cliff's Edge to be joined on the outside by Aloysia, and she goes on by. Aloysia, 100 metres out, draws 2 lengths, 3 lengths in front of Cliff's Edge. Oh, Aloysia, very smart indeed, is going to trot in. Aloysia home from Cliff's Edge. Selsamore third, 5 lengths away, and then Pissarro, Vinda Dance. Next Wolf Tone, 4 Koalas, Sanctioned, and Grand Casino was last. Aloysia, Luke Nolan, she was a cut above them. Has just tracked up beautifully and just had to get out. She was so poised, and Cliff's Edge couldn't go with her. And Aloysia, what a spring. What a terrific filly. Trained by Aaron Purcell, Luke Nolan, who won this race with Hanks for Peter Moody back in 2009, wins it for us.
Cliff's Edge, the horse who found the front. He was able to win the Caulfield Classic over 2,000 metres last week. He was on the quick back up, running the 3rd time in as many weeks. And, well, the filly just travelled up on his back and went straight past him, said ta-ta, and stormed into favouritism for the Oaks.
I think, look, a few of us thought maybe that 1,000 Guineas victory, because they got away from the rail, was the place to be. She got presented with the saloon passage, and everything sort of unfolded for her. Alizé had to come out deep and was a bit fractious before the race and that. But today's the day when we realise that this is a top-class filly at the very least. Who knows? She might be the type of horse that's back here next year going around in a different 2,040-metre race if Winx is overseas in Europe. That was dominant.
It was very, very strong, and considering that was her 3rd run back, arguably to say that she was more impressive than Jamaica when she was able to win this same race before going on to win the Oaks as a short price favourite. And now we're going to hear from the winning connections, including Luke Nolan. And well, here's a look at the market now for the Oaks, $1.70. Pinot was good winning the Ethereal, but traditionally the Ethereal is a step down. We're going to see a few of those fillies go to the Wakeful next Saturday, but someone's going to have to put up a very, very big performance to suggest they could get close to Aloysia from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, and what we know, she's got the turn of foot.
Looking at the market now for the Derby, Cliff's Edge still the top pick at $5. Off what I've seen today, I'd be backing Royal Symphony to beat Cliff's Edge in a...
And this is an impressive filly. 1,000 Guineas and taking on the boys in the Vars. She's into odds on now for the Oaks. How are they going to beat her in the Oaks?
I don't know. Odds on in the Oaks this far out, you'd usually just shake your head, but not really. Look at this. The 3rd horse is 9 lengths away. Looked a competitive field on paper. Obviously, she's coming off, you know, the big win at Caulfield, but wow.
She beat the boys.
She probably could win a Derby.
Yeah,
you know what? She probably could win a Derby.
That's how she just looks a superior stayer.
Yeah. I've just got to my head when I saw her in Brisbane that day. I thought, oh God, send it back to its mother. It was like an immature foal. But I can't wait to have another look at her when I get up there next week. But well, I probably won't be there Oaks Day. But anyway, she's.
She'll be back here Oaks Day.
I'll let you know. But it's interesting after the race.
Well, less than 30 minutes away from the Cox Plate as the build-up really starts to get exciting now.
That would captivate audiences generation after generation. There were tales about the sun and the stars up in the sky. Surprise guests who have bolted from the blue. Those who came from heaven or made the earth rumble underfoot. And a legend known as Babe, who quite simply flew.
But Dulcify well clear. Brent Thompson going for his 4th Cox Plate. Dulcify's won by a minute.
There were divas and princes and fighting tigers that would roar. Characters came in all shapes and colours, and royalty would enter folklore.
At his 10th start, he wins his second Cox Plate. Bart's done it again.
There were sprightly young maidens and seasoned old warriors, travellers who came from afar to conquer new lands. Weapons always drawn, superheroes at the ready, giants doing battle. 30,000 in the stand.
The roars of the crowd. He races up to our Waverley Star. 100 out. Bone Crusher, our Waverley Star. Stride for stride. Nothing in it. Our Waverley Star, the rails. Bone Crusher, the outside. And Bone Crusher races into equine immortality.
But the story of Anna Morton was saved for a conquering king.
Kingston Town swamping them. What a run. Kingston Town wins it a next.
And his perfectly matched queen.
2 in a row, and she joins the all-time greats of the turf.
The next chapter will soon be written, and is one that must be seen.
Oh, it's just magic here at Moonee Valley. So many wonderful memories coming through that package there. It is the race where legends are made, David Gately. We've seen so many champions come through and win a Cox Plate, and we've got one of the greats in Winks who's done it for the past 2 years.
Yeah, that's right. I've been in racing a while, as you have, Shane, and loved racing for a long period of time. The build-up to this Cox Plate has been phenomenal. Can she do it? Can she be only the second horse in the history of this great race to win it 3 times? We're about to find out.
Yeah, the sellout.
It's absolutely incredible. The whole place is just buzzing, and rightfully so, because we've got a fantastic race to look forward to. It is one of the absolute pinnacles in the whole of the Australian racing calendar, beautifully respected around.
I don't want to see her. Look, I've been saying in the lead-up, we want to see her challenged, you know, and where rivals down. We want to see them blitz today, don't we?
She is the best mare in the world, and she gets her chance for absolute superstardom today here at Moonee Valley. All right, let's head back to the bull ring now.
365, they put up $2.50 straight after last year's Cox Plate victory by Winks, and as you can see there on your screen, she's into $1.17 overall. Opened up $1.16 this morning. That's
all they wanted to back really today. It's into $1.16. Boys, I think there'd only be 3 places in the world. So for them, hopefully maybe it can. But we've had one client come for $625,000 on Winks, so a big bet there.
Well, we in the Cox Plate on the books at Sportsbet is all about the mighty mare, equalling Black Caviar's 15th Group 1, and then go past Mackay Diva as the record prize money holder at $15.5 million today. Royal Symphony is the
26 and Hardham rank outsider at 151. Very popular this Winks out market, Mr. Stanley. Yep. It's about to appear on screen, and with Winks out, it's a very competitive betting race.
That's right, and we've now got equal favourites in this market.
Number 8, Winks, the daughter of Street Cry. We've had 13 multiple winners of a Cox Plate in its long history. Only one has been able to win 3, and that was Kingston Town. The pressure's on her, Chris Waller, Hugh Bowman to deliver today, but she's one of the shortest price favourites we've ever seen at $1.16.
Should have sent a poet, not a form analyst. 2 Cox Plate wins, broke Mike and Power's track record, if you don't mind, an absolute legend in his own right. And then last year's win by 8, leaving Hartnell for dead, Hayley.
Yeah, there's not many that...
Champion of the WS Cox Plate makes her way out onto the track. She looks in a magnificent order, David Gately, as...
Cox Plate. He knows the drill now, and he looked calm and relaxed himself.
All right,
what can I say? What I can tell you is look at that one down the bottom, Hardham. I don't think he's got a hope of winning.
Called forward for the Ladbrokes Cox Plate. It's a Cox Plate like no other, really. The great horses over the years have managed to go up. Folks, she's a little bit edgy there in barrier number 5. An attendant with the great mare. And here is Happy Clapper. We're about to Cox Plate, set, they're racing. And Winks got away cleanly. Galo chopped towards the inside of her, was away the best. From Seaburge on the inside, and not far away is Hardham. And they were followed by Folkeswood with the white cappers booting up. Now Winks is 4 and 5 deep, just staying out of trouble at the moment. Royal Symphony behind her, followed by Happy Clapper, and 2 lengths away to Humidor. So they head towards the mile. 1600 out, Galo chopped the pilot by a length and a half to in second Folkeswood. So no surprises. 2 for further back is Hardham, third the outside of Sea Burge. A couple of lengths to Winks, followed by Humidor. Royal Symphony at the back, one off the fence, and Happy Clapper three deep around it. They head towards the top corner with 1,300 metres to go. Galo Chop in front by a length and a half to Folkeswood. 2 lengths Sea Burge on the inside of Hardham. 2 lengths to Winks, the outside of Humidor at the 1,200. Then Happy Clapper and Royal Symphony on the rails is at the end. Heading towards halfway now. 1,000 metres to go in the Cox Plate, and it's Galo Chop in front by a length. Second is Folkeswood. 2 further back in the field. Hardham, the outside of Sea Burge. Then came Winks. Next Humidor, Happy Clapper. Royal Symphony is last of all towards the side at the 800. Galo Chop in front, trying to dictate 3/4 of a length Folkeswood. Then came Hardham. Winks peels to the outside now. Then came Sea Burge, Humidor, Happy Clapper and Royal Symphony. So with 600 to go, Galo Chop in front, but here comes Winks on the outside, sliding up now. We've waited 35 years for this, and Winks moves up to Galo Chop, followed further back by Folkeswood between them. 2 further back, Humidor and Royal Symphony. It's Galo Chop at the 350. Winks on the outside. Bowman hasn't moved yet. The valley's rocking and the world is knocking. Winks goes to the front. 200 to go. Humidor to the outside. It's Winks in front by a length. Humidor on the outside is trying hard. It's Winks in front. Humidor's coming at her. Winks is holding on. The Great Mare completes the great trilogy of the turn. Winks has won the Cox Plate by a half length. Second Humidor, a gap to a photo Folkeswood, Royal Symphony, Galo Chop also not far away off those, followed by Happy Clapper, and Sea Burge was at the tail of the field. Winks has done it, but she gave us a fright. She gave us a massive fright. Humidor has run the race of his life and will gain many admirers. But it is the mighty Winks. She's done it. The Queen joins the King. Relief for Chris Waller. What were you thinking with 100 to go? Humidor was really picking up on Winks. She was able to settle and then let loose, but she didn't exactly race away from them. Galo Chop and Folkeswood and Winks, they're in a line of 3. Well, 8.359, 8.359, 2.294 the race time. Here is Hugh Bowman now with Dean.
Well, we are in the presence of greatness. Winks makes it 3 Cox Plate victories. Hugh Bowman, I'll let you catch your breath for an absolute second. We're waiting for a couple of horses to go past. But right about now, Hugh, it seems relief. The pressure's been released. How's it feel?
Yeah, I just can't explain, really. It's been such a build-up, and Craig Child said when we won last year, nothing will prepare you for what you're in for next year. And he was right. And look, I'm lost for words. It's just, she's just made history. I was born the year that Kingston Town won his first Cox Plate, and to think that she's emulated the great, you know, and well, you know, trying to compare one horse to another, they're all different animals at the end of the day, but we are in the presence of greatness, as you said, and she will be recognised, you know, as one of the greatest horses to grace the Australian turf, and to be a part of it.
It's been posted at 202.94, which is a new course record. She broke the course record that she set when winning this race 2 years ago. An unbelievable performance. Her 3 Cox Plate wins have produced the 2 fastest times since we've had the Strathair laid here at Moonee Valley, plus an all-time record margin win. As I bring David Gately back into the conversation, she's been able to hold off Humidor.
There were echoes of Northern Drake as he loomed to beat Might and Power a couple of years ago, but the result was right. The champion won it, Might and Power back then, and Winks today with her 3rd Cox Plate, and she has a great will to win mixed with an amazing level of class, very obviously, and breaks her own track record by 4/100ths of a second. Listen to that crowd as she comes back to scale with Hugh Bowman in the saddle. You saw scenes of Chris Waller walking through the crowd here, and he was lapping it up as well, and rightly so. What an amazing journey. He's a very humble man, Chris Waller, but he has to take a big bow here. I'm with Hugh Bowman on that. It just takes a phenomenal individual to keep a great athlete up for such a long period of time, and he's done that with this girl, Winks, winning her 3rd Cox Plate and breaking the all-time money-earning record as well on the way. What a fantastic achievement. What a fantastic day for Australian racing. Winks takes out her third Cox Plate. I can't wait to hear from Chris Waller. I think the long odds-on certainty of a tear to the eyes are given, and rightly so, given the scenes here, and they are phenomenal. Larry.
Yeah, the man on top there, Hugh Bowman, great effort.
There's that noise coming back. I don't think I've heard anything like it. I've been coming to Cox Plates for 25 years as a punter.
Great moments in world sport.
Yeah, it's certainly a thrill to be here. I was just saying that I've been one of those many people up in the stand admiring this race, admiring the history of this race and Australian sport. So it's very humbling to be on the other side looking at everybody. And I just thank them for embracing Winx like she's their own.
Take me through your emotions as you were watching the race, because the tempo was strong. She was midfield, covering a bit of ground.
You don't have any emotion watching her. It's just the last 400 metres, the intensity builds in a race, and that's when you expect her to start to show. She did that today. Obviously, she was in for a fight. It wasn't an easy victory, but you don't come to these races expecting them. You, in fact, don't come to these races expecting to win, believe it or not. So she had to be good to fight off Humidor and the other runners in the race. It was a fair income Cox Plate. So well done to all connections of the second horse and the rest of the runners. But that's a dream. Being associated with horses like Winx, that's a wildest dream.
And that's the thing. I mean, when you were starting out in racing, no doubt you were watching Kingston Town, Sunline, Bone Crusher, Northerly, Saintly, Octagonal, the list goes on, and now she's done what only one other had done before, and that was Kingston Town.
Yeah, look, I'm just blessed to be part of it, and I'm very proud of my team.
Humidor really made a race of it. Were you really impressed with his performance today?
Thought he ran great, Jane. He's had a really good week. The plan was just to go back, ride him to be strong through the line to see whether we can push onto a Melbourne Cup, obviously, and halfway down the straight I thought, geez, didn't know what to really think, really, but anyway, he ran great. The winner was too good, and these scenes here are amazing.
You have got an immense amount of faith in this horse's ability. He probably isn't the complete package yet, so there's still a lot more to come.
Yeah, there is a lot more to come. I think the blinkers were good today, and the quick backup was good as well, and just riding him a bit quieter, that's the key. He's just got to just, he's trained to relax and then finish off, so it's very hard for a horse like him with his manners to do it at both ends, so I thought it was a really good step in the right direction today.
To the Melbourne Cup now?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I hope so anyway, yeah, providing he has a good 10 days, but he's in such good order, and that'll bring him on really nicely, and probably the gallop.
You know, it's just unavoidable, and she's done it. I mean, she's done what the immortal Kingston Town did, and well, what a privilege it is to be part of the ride with her.
And you've been able to share this moment to big day occasions. This is just unbelievable.
Take a breath. I've been shaking for about 10 minutes, and most of this crowd has as well, I think. I mean, I haven't heard a roar like that in my time. I've been in racing for 100 years, it seems like. Hayley, you've been at tracks all around the world. Describe that feeling.
It's a massive sense of relief, actually, because there was so much expectation coming into the day, and you were coming here to watch a real, true athlete and create a moment in history. And you just, you know, you've fallen in love with this mare, and you fall in love with the owners because of how they've embraced giving her to us as the public and around the world as well. And I just think Chris pulled off something remarkable to have her come back and once again. So to be honest with you, I feel quite tearful, a sense of relief. So goodness knows for all those that are closely involved with her.
Yeah, it was quite funny. It's one of those occasions.
It was one of the great seconds of all time. I mean, it was just that. I mean, given her dominance in the market and her form, I mean, she won 4 million races in a row, and straight after the race, I had echoes in my head of Northern Drake at 100 to 1, who loomed to beat Might and Power, and here's Humidor coming out of the pack. Okay, he wasn't 100s, but relative to her, I guess he was, and he gave her a scare. But she's got this great will to win as well. She just hasn't needed it as much of late.
It's her 26th career win from 32 starts. That is her 22nd win in a row. Her overall prize money record now stands at an Australian high of $15.5+ million. She's the record holder for most Group 1s. There's only one more Everest to climb, if you want to call it that, and that is to potentially go overseas. And Connections are keen to do that, but I think they're going to let this soak in for a period of time.
Yeah, look, we'd all love to see it. You know, as long as she's obviously still at the top of her game, at least in the high 90s, then she's going to be very obviously competitive with any equine athlete they can put up with her. And look, I want to see it.
From the stewards' room directly after that race, Damien Oliver and Dean Yendall were both escorted into the room. Dean Yendall was actually pretty unpleased with Damien Oliver and what he happened to do aboard Happy Clapper out of the gates. There was a bit of interference there for a couple of 100 metres, and there was a bit of a tussle ongoing. Of course, that inquiry is currently in progress.
Looked like you were 3 wide going out of the straight the first time. Was that always the intention, to keep her out of trouble?
Yeah, my main aim. I mean, look, I didn't want to be 3 wide, but I would have, you know, I was in a very strong mindset that I'd rather be 3 wide than have someone to my outside. So I sort of rode the race almost as though that, you know, I rode an arrogant race. So that, you know, I didn't have anyone dictating to me, and I doubted they would, but you just never know, and I didn't want to leave any stone unturned. And, you know, the ground was a lot firmer here this afternoon than what she ran on last year, and I understand she's broken her own track record from 2 years ago, so that gives you an idea of the speed that we were going. And I had no hesitation in applying pressure much earlier than I would on any other horse, because I know that that's her strength, running quick times for a long way. And as surprised as I was to see Humidor with me inside the 100 metres, and I could sense with the crowd when I went for the cheer, I could hear it, and it was like last year, it's like the year before. But I could sense inside the 100-metre mark that something was happening, and that's when I had a slight glance to my right and I saw Humidor. And as surprised as I wasn't concerned, you know. So looks nice and dramatic, but yeah, look, full credit to him. He's run a race of his life, and, you know, I'm sure he'll be a worthy contender in races to come.
You touch on a good point. We are getting some news out of the race, and it's regarding Damien Oliver, and he is being charged with improper riding. Right. So that is a significant charge coming his way. Of course, he was on Happy Clapper. There was some significant interference with Dean Yendall's Mount Royal Symphony. So we'll have an update on that soon. We'll get Grace Ramage to give us an update on that, but that's not a good position for Damien Oliver.
Great run. Yeah, he did a fantastic job to get so close to the champ for a fleeting minute. I thought we were going to cause a big upset, but she just pulled out too many guns. But, you know, amazing effort from a horse to get so close.
Were you incredibly surprised by Kieran McAvoy, Folkeswood?
Yeah, he ran really well. He just a little bit slow to step, but we got out into my preferred spot and had a nice time of it. The leader stepped it up at the half mile, and I increased, but unfortunately the Wonder Mare was right on her hammer at the 500. But my fella battled on well, and that was a personal.
Dean Yendall, Royal Symphony.
Just got into a fight with Ollie early. Didn't help my causes at all. Obviously, I was trying to follow the links, so I lost my spot there, and then had to come off the back of Happy Clapper, probably 700 out, and then start improving into the race. He went really well, so it was a tough effort.
Regan Bayliss, Seaburge.
Yeah, he just struggled weight for age against these real tough horses.
Damien Oliver, Happy Clapper.
He ran okay.
Luke Nolan, Hardham.
We give the winner a lovely drag into it. He wasn't good enough.
Halo Shop.
Yeah, look, he had a nice lead. He just laboured a bit late. Didn't walk back that good, so it might be a problem.
As Grace Ramage and Shane Anston mentioned, is this situation regarding Damien Oliver and the improper riding charge. Now, he has been found guilty, and it's clear, if we just will highlight these two horses here, you've got the early stage of this race from a sectional perspective. Obviously, Winks has broken her track record, but how was the race unfolding from the start?
It's gone quick. They've gone 11.5 or thereabouts above benchmark early doors, but these are pre-adjusted figures, so they could cop a little haircut.
This is the quickest Cox Plate ever, and on figures of about 21.5 lengths above average.
Yeah, about that, 20.9, there's something like that. We'll put that up. We've got a graphic to show everyone which is comparable to even Might and Power and whatnot. in past times. But from the 800 to the 400, they've gone about 7 lengths above, or she has, Winks, and then she's gone 5.7 from the 400 to the finish, BZ. So you can see even the great mare herself, her speed was deteriorating slightly.
And we're just getting news coming through from Grace Ramage on track that Damien Oliver has been issued with a 20-meeting suspension. So at this point in time, still would have to... And these are the figures through the race. So plus 8.4 through the first 1,200 metres, and then it's just continued to build through the line. That is a staggering performance from the mighty mare.
Yeah, it's huge, and like I said, we'll get to a graphic in a bit.
These are figures provided by Vince Accardi and his IVR benchmarks, historical, and as this is a great perspective on lining Winks up against past champions from a times perspective.
If we just leave that up there for a bit longer, as you can see, she's got 1 and 3, but you can see how high this race today has rated. Folkeswood is ahead of Adelaide and Faulkner. Obviously, Adelaide won the race, the filthy rotten thing, in 2014.
You've got to take your personal agenda.
And a race to remember. I think every champ got a mention yesterday. She went past Makybe Diva's prize money record. She was the shortest prize favourite since Far Lap. She's broken another track record over that 2040 at Moonee Valley. What else is there? 22 in a row. Q Bowman joins the Bay. Brent Thompson is the only jockey to win 3 in a row. What else? Duff?
Just sitting back and watching a champion at the top of a game was just it was major numb yesterday. Just watching her so focused in front of that big crowd, trotting to the barrier, ears pricked. You can't put margins in opposition when you're breaking course records, and her own course record at that. A freakish horse, a freakish horse.
And came Seabird, Humidor, Happy Clapper and Royal Symphony. So with 600 to go, Galo Chop in front, but here comes Winks on the outside, sliding up now. We've waited 35 years for this, and Winks moves up to Galo Chop, followed further back by Folkeswood between them. 2 further back, Humidor and Royal Symphony. It's Galo Chop at the 350. Winks on the outside. Bowman hasn't moved yet. The valley's rocking and the world is knocking. Winks goes to the front. 200 to go. Humidor to the outside. It's Winks in front by a length. Humidor on the outside is trying hard. It's Winks in front. Humidor's coming at her. Winks is holding on. The great mare completes the great trilogy of the turf. Winks has won the Cox Plate by a half length. Second, Humidor. A gap to a photo.
Now, talking about the brave ride, he was maybe one off the fence for a very small portion of the race. He was out 3 deep and wider for the majority, and he was never, ever going to look for that real easy run. He just wanted to keep her out of trouble and not risk a pocket.
Move up at the right time. He knew he was on a real 2,000 metre horse, and he got the desired result. Everyone, the margin was small, and you say, oh, that wasn't one of her best wins. But when you analyse the whole situation, I got no doubts it's in her top 4 performances throughout her whole career. There's no doubt about it. Horse, and he got her whole career. There's no doubt about it. Humidor, he was just unbelievable. He was still up to those old bad habits of wanting to lay in when when it come down to the crunch there. He's favourite for the Melbourne Cup now. Look, has he been winxed? He's got out of a street fight with the best mare in the world there, and not many survive once they've had that title fight. They come into another title like a Melbourne Cup. So I'm very shaky about backing him. On face value, Lizzie, you think, wow, what a Melbourne Cup trial that is. But has he been winxed?
She leaves them lying on the turf, doesn't she?
Exactly, in her wake.
You've got to scrape them up after they've been in a fight with her.
Yet this little 3-year-old Royal Symphony, well, he's never been in a fight. Is that going to toughen a little horse like him up and really set him up for a derby? That's a different situation altogether. Yeah, look, it's a great race. We're talking about a very short price favourite, $1.10 favourite, but still a great moment in racing. There's no doubt about it.
She's matured, she's filled out, and I feel that this is her at her peak. I feel she's at the top of her mountain now. It's always a concern, and I'm sure it's in the back of Chris's head, that where is she going to go next? Is this the pinnacle? Is this... She can't get any better. I mean, at the start of this preparation, he said openly in the media, I can't imagine her getting any better, but she has got better. Yep. She is better. She can do things that other horses... I mean, for me, she's done everything. I don't have any concern about her going overseas to prove herself. She, to me, she's the best I've ever seen. I didn't see Frankel in the flesh, but to me, she is just an out-and-out champion, and I just appreciate her for what she is and what she's done for us.
Surely.
I've started to do a bit of work on this. Yeah, I'm a Wall of Fire fan.
Wall of Fire?
Yeah. Even with his suspect problems?
What problems?
All right. Duff, I want your first... Duff, I want your first four for the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
And an early tip for the Everest.
What about...
It comes up, Skullduggery, and they're off. One of the best starts in Australia, the 2400 at Bendigo, and they're on their way for the Jayco Bendigo Cup of 2017. Big Memory jumped out well, so also did Foundry. Kiwi is poking through. Meet and Greet is having a look. So is Khartoum. He won his maiden here not so long ago. Khartoum is looking for the leaders. They come down to greet the judge, and he gets it. Meet and Greet racing a little away to Big Memory. Kiwi, the outside, is joint fourth with Foundry, and then 2 lengths Kawhi still biding his time, and 3 away to Skullduggery at the end. There's been no change in the play. They come off the back and they go to the side. Front runner at the 800 metres is Khartoum. He's a length and a quarter to the good of Meet and Greet. Big Memory moved up to third, a neck away, and Kiwi's on the move, 3 out. Kawhi still trying to follow him around Foundry. They've quickened now, and 2 lengths Skullduggery at the tail end of the field. Khartoum led. Meet and Greet the outside goes to him. On the outside, Big Memory, and Kiwi is chiming in. Foundry's got something to offer, and Kawhi's about to go to the outside. Kiwi ridden hard on the outside. He takes the lead as they enter the lane. Khartoum tries to battle back, and Kawhi is emerging down the outside. Kiwi is the leader. Here comes Kawhi on the outside after him. Kiwi's in for the fight. 200 to go. The 2 favourites, Kiwi and Kawhi. Kiwi just in front. Kawhi the outside is trying his life out. Kiwi just. Kawhi gets to a neck, but Kiwi wins it. Godolphin go back to back. Kiwi too big and too tough. Beat Kawhi, who tried his life out by a neck. 5 away, third Foundry. Fourth, not sure. Khartoum battled on well. Skullduggery ran a bit of a race. Big Memory the middle, and Meet and Greet.
Of course, is the Jayco Bendigo Cup. Despite having 59 kilos, Kiwi was a narrow but brave victory and broke the track record to win the Bendigo Cup.
Yeah, tough and brave are great words to describe him. I guess the 59 kilos was always going to be a query given the weight he carried when he was here last year, but he's such a big strapping horse, and I'd say he's probably matured a little bit from last campaign too, so carrying the weight didn't really appear to be too much of an issue for him in the end, but tough win, nice horse. He's going to take a lot of improvement out of that, so it'll be really interesting to see where the team decide to take him next. But I have to feel sorry for the connections of Kawhi, because he was tough in defeat. As we mentioned, they've broken a...
The front as the field turns for home with Kiwia in the green sleeves, green cap, blue and white checks, really coming out after him hard. Kiwi is so lightly raced, well and truly on an upward spiral, but Kiwi is just so tough and certainly thrives here in Australia, and this was a terrific performance. Kiwi hanging on to win, and they really powered away from a recent Group 1 winner in Foundry over the concluding stages. I think that's one of the better Jayco Bendigo Cups we've seen for quite some time, and I do hope that they do decide...
Well done, keen to get on with it. Ready for the first at the 1600 metres, and away they go. Beautiful line as well. Octobello towards the inside, jumped quickly with Danger Deal, and also showing a bit of pace out deeper on the track is Mactier, and also Lord Sundowner. There's the Charge of the Light Brigade. Almighty's also up there, and Pasito. Danger Deal snicks back to fifth. Galway's on the improve, then Lavendi, followed by Sambro. Octobello outfield is Irish Vega. Hypnotist is wide in midfield. Lord Sundowner is the front runner, approaching the 800 metres by 3/4 of a length. Pasito. Galway is third out 3 deep. Mactier the inside, followed by Almighty. A length to Sambro. Danger Deal the inside. Lavendi 5 off the lead from Hypnotist. Then came Give Octobello, and well back is Rel Sun, about 8 off the lead from Snitzerpeg, third last and niggled at. Next is Beaugest, and Irish Vega is at the end. Into the straight, Lord Sundowner at the 450 with Pasito the outside. Mactier behind them. Galway 3 deep. Needing a runner's Almighty. Sambro down the centre of of the track. So too Lavendi trying to get out in the red jacket, then Danger Deal and Irish Vega right down the outside. As they reach the 200, Sambro moves up on the outside to claim Gaul while Lavendi's out. Irish Vega and Relsun runs on. Sambro at the 100. Lavendi is chasing. It's Sambro. Lavendi on the outside moves up with Irish Vega. Lavendi takes the lead. Lavendi won the Carbine Club. From a photo, Irish Vega was there with Sambro, and next in the field, Boget, Schnitzerpeg, Relsun, followed by Octobello. Next was Gaulois in company then with Hypnotist and Give. Pasito dropped away. Almighty Danger Deal. Lord Sundowner got tired, and at the end, Mactia. Lavendi wins. Lavendi has won the Carbine Club. Number 7, the colt by Piero out of Lipari for Peter Galagotis. There'll be a party in Moe tonight. Lavendi coming out of Vega. Tommy Berry for Anthony Friedman. 4th, number 2, and that is Boget.
Ben Melham takes out the opening event here aboard Lavendi in pretty good
derby from weeks out, but I think it wouldn't surprise me, BZ, if he ends up being close to the best of his generation. I just think he's still very raw and new. He should have won this race by a bit further. It was sickening for me. I had a bit of a lick at Sambro there in front, but just something about him. I think he'll come back and win the Guineas in the autumn, the Australian Guineas. So I think he's a real good horse in the making, and I think he's got a bit more upside than some of his counterparts.
Well, he came out of the Caulfield Guineas with not a lot of luck. Peter Galagotis.
There was looked at 2 horse race on paper. One come out, and this horse, Lavendi, looks a really, really nice horse. I've got no doubt, you know, considering Sambro's run second here, I think Chaotic would have won this race, but that's a different story. He'll keep for another day. Just had to come back behind them there, get into the clear, and look, I reckon he's a horse that could measure up in the autumn in Sydney. This bloke, I think they've got a nice opinion of him. His recent form's quite solid. Sambro was fit, hard, and did his thing there. Irish Vega's got a nice future as well, that third horse. But there was a few marked behind there that you could make little cases for that found a little trouble.
Yeah, it was a run-on race where they were the horses back in the field did figure, and horses like Boget, had he used its gate, I think it would have been right in the finish. Yeah, but he just probably drifted 2 or 3 horses back than what he would have liked. And
Lavendi getting the cash and very well supported with Sportsbet, and they're looking for that theme to follow here with the heavily supported Bring Me Roses going up as favourite after her fantastic win at Flemington last start. $4.60 and very strong. But the late support just in the last 20 minutes has been for Lover. She finished powerfully behind the boys in Sydney last start. She's coming to $5 now with Sportsbet. Rimram was
3 minutes away. Look, I'm with Bring Me Roses. I thought if the Manifold win was terrific, I think she can win again. Pure Scott, Theodora.
With Snogging. And they're racing towards the inside. Lucky Louie away only fairly. Miss Admiration going back to the end of the field and showing pace as improvised with Près de Trois, Rimram and High Arm the inside. Snogging from the deep and also pushing up out deeper on the track as Caballero. So they reach the 1700. Who wants the front here? Snogging the outside with Rimram. Then High Arm behind those horses. Caballero off the track from Glam Guru. Improvised takes a snick back to about 6th. Then Près de Trois on the outside. Race is Lover, a fair way off the lure at this stage of the race, and Pure Scott back with her. So the leader is Snogging, heading towards the 1,000, 3/4 of a length Caballero, a length away to Rimram, third the inside of Glam Guru, 2 lengths to High Arm Improvise, followed further back in the field then by Près de Trois, the outside of She's Dashing, followed by Bring Me Roses, the outside of Lucky Louie, then Smooth Landing 2/3 down the field from Berkshire Lady, then Miss Admiration, Theodora, well back is Pure Scott approaching the turn. Lover is last. Up to the turn, it's Snogging at the 550 with on the outside Glam Guru staking a claim. Improvised tracks up behind those. Rimram still there, the centre. High Arm heeled up behind them to the outside. Près de Trois. Bring Me Roses running on as well from Berkshire Lady, and tracking up behind them on the inside is Lover. Rimram on the outside of Snogging as they reach the 250 from Glam Guru. She's Dashing. No Improvised. Bring Me Roses not today. It's Rimram up to Snogging at the 150. Glam Guru. Lover's getting out now. Rimram below the 100. Glam Guru. Lover the outside coming at Rimram. Rimram just in front. Lover dives. Lover, I'd say, from Rimram or Glam Guru. Then She's Dashing or High Arm behind those for 4. A gap Theodora. Then came Improvised Lucky Louie, Miss Admiration and Snogging from Smooth Landing. Bring Me Roses, Predatoire. Well back was Pure Scott and Berkshire Lady. And pulling up here, Caballero. Caballero hasn't even completed a turn into the straight. Lover. Blake Shin will nail them here. Right on the line. It's Lover who was last turning for home. Has just got up. It's a photo for second between Rimram and Glam Guru. In 14 with Thunder Lady. Takes his second wakeful up to the 2,000 metres and enjoying it here. Had that form, that Sydney form around Chaonic and also Elise, and it's in the frame. 7 Lover 5, 5th 12, 6th 13 in a time of 2:03.99. So beautifully.
Was a masterclass by Blake Shin. From barrier 13, went back, settled last on the fence, stuck to the inside, had the confidence to have the faith in his filly, didn't panic and come out wide, and she was very, very good today.
Yeah, you're dead right. The ride was just 27 out of 10. He's, as you say, sucked up and saved all the runs. And look, going into an Oaks on Thursday, that's what you want as well. You don't want to be making a long, wide, sustained run and spending a whole heap of petrol. But it's a shame for Connections of Lover that they've possibly run into a really, really smart filly in Aloysia.
Well, Johnny Sargent, he's won this race.
Who looks not over the line, but close to a good thing in the Oaks. But Lover, who ran second to Chaonic, put her Oaks credentials on the line here, running in the wakeful, and very, very good. Great ride.
I went off a bit early when I said Zara was the ride of the day. This was just so cool, calm and collected. He just didn't have a worry in the world there. Everyone was panicking. He's back last and he's riding the fence, and just everything opened up for him beautifully here, Blake. And look, she'll go to the Oaks now. John Sargent's won this race 2 of the past 3 years, so he knows what's needed. She just might run into some special filly there on Thursday. That's the problem that she has. But it's a horse race and anything can happen. So I think she's there in the right frame of mind, Lizzie.
Do you think that she's a horse that's better ridden a little bit patiently? Because I was expecting her to be a bit more forward, seeing as though over a shorter trip she's been up on speed.
Yeah. I was shocked. I thought she'll go forward here. The map looked a bit, not real lot of speed. So he just played it cool. He read the play perfectly, but I think a lot of punters were panicking when she got so far back in the ruck.
Are you throwing away that ticket still?
No, I've still got the ticket with a big price written on it, but I'm
Kate Duff is back to Lover to win the Oaks at what? 40 to 1.
40 to 1.
At 40 to 1, and she's now what?
Yeah,
and he's got 40 to 1.
But that's incredible.
But Kate, he's got a problem.
Kate, what is the problem?
Aloysia at $1.70 looks very, very good.
You said $1.
Not too far away from one of the most important races of the day here at Flemington, the 93rd running of the Lexus Stakes at Group 3 level. The winner of this race can get a start in the Emirates Melbourne Cup on Tuesday.
Big deeming into the Hayes Davidic trained Harlem. Of course, he got the cash 3 runs back in the Naturalism Stakes, and at one point did touch $7 in betting. The boys at Bet365, sorry, $5 in betting. Now crunched right into, you can see there, into $4. Did even touch $3.75. There's been good support early doors for a loft, but he's now getting on the drift. The Lloyd Williams.
Venga Mask is going really well. Of course, came through that same form line and then a tough winner at Geelong. A loft should improve here, and the market says.
Melbourne Cup in the year 2000 with Brew electing to come here to the Lexus. He's now into $5. You can see there, touched $7.50.
And racing. Pretty good line as well. Harlem goes back towards the end of the field, and Elward third last. Pentathlon back with it with Kel Storm. Beginning well is Kiss Montaigne, and at the post will lead from on the outside Von Jamask, then Ecuador. Aloft is fourth out 3 deep at the moment from Gardini, 2 lengths Havana Cooler. Followed further back by Harlem, then Elward, Kel Storm, and Pentathlon is last. They leave the straight and head out towards the riverside. 2,100 to go. It's Kiss Montaigne by a length Von Jamask, and Aloft on the outside third. A length is Pentathlon and Kel Storm last. Will Kiss Montaigne every post a winner. 1,000 metres to go is out clear by 5 lengths now. Second in the race is Aloft, and then came Von Jamask on the outside of Ecuador. A length Gardini, a length and a half of Vanacula. They were followed by Harlem and Elwood, Kel Storm and Pentathlon. Approaching the turn at the 700 metres. Kiss Montaigne, Baster's just starting to row along. Leads by 2 lengths Von Jamask and Aloft. Then Gardini. Harlem hooks to the outside from Elward, and then came Ecuador. Well back Havana Cooler and Kel Storm. It's Kiss Montaigne at the 450. Has it got anything left? Leads by 3/4 Vonja Mask on the outside. Harlem's joining in as well. And further back in the field, Elward running on. Kiss Montaigne kicks at the 250, but Vonja Mask levels up. 2 lengths Elward and Pentathlon on the outside at the clock tower. 150 out, Kiss Montaigne just from Vonja Mask. Pentathlon, Kiss Montaigne brave, Vonja Mask and Pentathlon. Kiss Montaigne is holding on, and Kiss Montaigne makes its way into the great race. Vonja Mask, Pentathlon for the Miners, a gap Elward. Followed then by, behind them, Havana Cooler, Harlem, then came Aloft Ecuador, and at the end, Kel Storm. Kiss Montaigne at 12.10 and 3.20 for Stevie Basta. Gay won this race 2 years ago with excess knowledge and blasted her way into the Melbourne Cup. And Kiss Montaigne, after leading them up in the Moonee Valley Cup and fighting on to run a creditable third, has surprised here, leading all of the way. And well, you could haven't put enough on.
But Matt, he rated this horse supremely out in front. We often reference that Stephen Baster's a great front-running jockey. I know Gator's huge on that, but just the even splits that he produced out in front all the way through.
And how many times did he look beaten in the straight as well, Kiss Montaigne? I mean, he had that pipe opener in the Moonee Valley Gold Cup, but just here, a couple of reminders down the rump, and Vonja Mask was travelling, and then to the outside, Harlem. And the one thing I took out of this race here, Gator, was Harlem and Aloft. They've had enough.
Yeah, well, I'm convinced Harlem's not a stayer now. You know, I was keen on him today, but he travelled into the race like he was going to win by 7.
Pentathlon was the winner here, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah. He'd loomed to win, and Kiss Montaigne at the final was gone. If you're betting in the run at 100 to 1, but he just keeps finding and digging, and I think they learn a lesson from Moonee Valley. I think they led too slowly. Yeah. I think he's got to be ridden along, ridden at solid sections, because he's a genuine stayer, and he was brave late. All credit to him.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal campaign for him. That was his 10th start of this racing season, and he takes out his biggest race, the Group 3 Lexus. It's got him in the Emirates Melbourne Cup field. Let's have a look at the makeup of
a runner. They scraped in with Kiss Montaigne. Can he win a Melbourne Cup?
No, I don't. Look, I'm not going to say no to Gay Waterhouse and Adrian. Their horses are flying at the moment in Melbourne, and
it wasn't the best renewal of the race.
No, it wasn't. No.
It was a pretty poor field.
Yeah, no, they all come at him here. They actually head him. Venga Mask gets him first, and then I thought old Pentathlon was going to win. Go straight over the top of it. Allwood was bursting through there, but he's just probably come to an end of a long campaign. But just tough, hard, fit. The way Gay gets them. Oh, look, he'll put some interest into this cup. It's going to be a very fast-run cup. Harlem, the favourite, was awful. He cruised up on the point of the home turn there, and I'm hoping that's... we're worried about the Caulfield Cup for him. After seeing that, I think he just had an off day.
I wonder if they'll bring him back in distance. I mean, the Emirates is next week, and it's starting to look like it's pretty light on with no winks.
Yeah.
So they could...
he's not going well enough. On that, you could...
I'd see what you're saying, but maybe he's not...
Yard for the first of the Group 1 races here today, and that is the 49th running of the Coolmore Stud Stakes, of course, registered as the Ascot Vale Stakes. It's down the straight, 1,200 metres. We've got a massive field of 3-year-olds here with 20 to face the starter.
Now, for the Coolmore Stud Stakes, right down the bottom, number 19, Invincible Star for Gay Waterhouse. Of course, the stable is shooting for a running double after Kiss Montaigne forged his way into the Melbourne Cup field by winning the Lexus in the previous race. You can see there, $6.50 for Invincible Star. Viridine now out to $8. Good support for the top weight too. The boys at Bet365 telling me Trapeze Artist has been well supported today.
23, Merchant Navy is 14.8 to 17 as we roll on down the bottom of the page, and this is where a lot of activity's been. Firstly, Dracaeus is at $41, Optimum at 15, Lone Eagle 41. I'll jump straight to Catchy and Hootson. These two horses I continue to see money for, especially in the last 5 to 10. Invincible Star, which is $8 into $6, back to $6.50. Also Limestone there at $34. It is a ripper, Marto, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ready for the Coolmore Stud Stakes. Stalls are back and they're racing. And from the centre, Kementari began cleanly, and at this stage it looks as though they might split towards the outside. Trapeze Artist shows speed with also Dracaris on the outside, and not far away is Catchy behind those with Limestone. There was four thinking about coming to the outside, but now they're veering towards the inside running rail. It's Invincible Star leading from Malahat, and right behind the speed after 400 metres is Jukebox and also Formality. The Mission's up there with Summer Passage, Goodfella and Hoots, and in that group of horses, Viridina's right behind the speed with the white cap onto the course proper at the 600 metres. Then Lone Eagle, next Kementari, Trapeze Artist, Merchant Navy, followed further back in the field by Tulip, and then came Vassergeist. Well back, Dracaris out deeper from Andaz and also Limestone. Invincible Star at the 300 metres leads by a length and a half. Formality, followed by Jukebox, Viridine. Then came Malahat and Hootson. Invincible Star at the 150 leads by a length. Formality is trying hard to pick up Invincible Star. It's Invincible Star. Merchant Navy's flashing. Invincible Star holding on. Merchant Navy drives and got up. Right on the line, Merchant Navy has beaten Invincible Star or Formality for fourth. A photo, Limestone, Dracaris there with also Viridine. Then Malahat, Goodfella. Behind those horses, Hoots and Optimum. And then came Andaz, Limestone, Lone Eagle, Jukebox, Catchy, well back in the field, Tulip, Trapeze Artist, The Mission, Vassergeist and Summer Passage. Merchant Navy gets up. Merchant Navy has won, flying up on the inside. Mark Zara for Aaron Purcell, and displays what we thought of this horse back in September when he rolled Booker. Booker went on to challenge Catchy, and Merchant Navy then went to Sydney and had a real baptism of fire, but Merchant Navy weaving through the pack, storming at Invincible Star, who was gripping on for dear life.
Every part of that, how exciting. Because I know what you think about this horse. You've stuck with him all the way through, and he's delivered you in our Group 1. Yeah, that's right. I know a few of the owners, and just what a thrill, you know, because I wasn't quite sure whether I got there or not, and I just sort of waited and let it pan itself out. We got to the inside, and I thought I was just going to run out of time, but did use strong late. He's always shown above average. To not go to the Guineas, take the put the blinkers on, drop back and trip. You know, it's a great plan that's come off. And even give it a freshen up after.
You got the 1,000 Guineas with Aloysia, and now you've got a Group 1, and an important Group 1 here with Merchant Navy.
That's right. I took over the stable with a bunch of expensive, nice horses. There was expectations. Obviously, with expectations come pressure, and fortunately, I've got a very good staff behind me, and good facilities and good processes at home, and things have been working well, and getting the bob on the line is definitely a very satisfying result.
Take us through the Savage the line.
He did that. I mean, I love the chopper shot of this, where he was going 2 to their 1 at the finish. Yeah. You know, and this was a high-class 3-year-old crop. So much talent, so much emerging talent, and he was actually quite dominant. The margin was narrow, but his win was extraordinary, in my opinion, and he's only been beaten once, and that was a total forgetful day up there. Had all sorts of issues, copped the check, as you mentioned, just a total forget job. He's unbeaten outside of that.
It was a messy race, guys. News coming through from the stewards. Ryan Maloney was suspended for 12 meetings out of this race for his ride on Optimum. Right. And also Olivier Pellier was found guilty and suspended for 11 meetings for his ride on Malahat. Of course, with Pellier's suspension, that comes in after the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday. But it was so strong here late, Merchant Navy. And the class filly Catchy, she was another one who certainly didn't have any luck back in the field.
No, it was a forgetful day for Catchy, so it was her turn, you know, whereas he was the forgetful day in the Golden Rose. We have to give a kudos to the runner-up, you know, facing the breeze. It sort of swung around but didn't into their face, so her effort to lead until the final stride, so 1,199 metres was a terrific effort from the filly.
Yep. Yeah, he ran good time.
Real bottleneck here as the field starts to bunch up, and look, Merchant Navy and Catchy basically settling together at the back of the field, and the horse that really caused a lot of the trouble is the Mission, and watch how quickly he starts to really capitulate and basically come back through the field. Mark Zara has to take evasive action at a crucial stage. He's lucky that he's got no horses back to his inside, and he's able to go that way because he aims up. Basically, you look like he's heading in this type of direction, trying to follow a few of his rivals that way. But eventually, you know where he does come, and he comes comes up the inside fence. So here you can see the mission stopping. Hugh Bowman's about to get into a traffic jam, and just at that point in time, Mark Zahra was able to get away from the heels of the mission and come right back up along the inside. It continues to look very, very ugly for Catchy back there. She's basically just getting knocked from pillar to post. So all her momentum stopped, complete forgive. But look at the amount of ground that Merchant Navy picks up here, and you don't really get that same perspective on the last shot, but terrific vision there. And this is a smart 3-year-old sprinter with the blinkers on today who's been able to get the Group 1 prize. They're very, very...
Linked and a half for Melody, followed by Jukebox Viridine. Then came Malahad and Hootson. Invincible Star at the 150, leads by a length. For Melody is trying hard to pick up Invincible Star. It's Invincible Star. Merchant Navy's flashing. Invincible Star holding on. Merchant Navy drives and got up. Right on the line, Merchant Navy has beaten Invincible Star, or For Melody for fourth. A photo limestone for Callum there.
Well, Duffy's only failure was in Sydney in the Golden Rose.
Yeah, there's always been the confidence about this horse has been always, you know, through the roof the whole way through. Look at this for a ride, will you? Yeah, look, this is a sensational ride by Zahra. He drew 15. You know, he finds himself weaving back in the field there. He just took runs that, as they come, everything fell into place for him. And it was the ride of a champion rider in a big grand final like that. To get a result, and it's a big result because he's a well-bred colt. You know, so the sky's the limit for him as far as his future's concerned. The fillies, he beat the 3 fillies. So, you know, Invincible Star, I thought her run was to lead them up, give a kick, and, you know, the rest of the pace horses have dropped off. She's a serious filly. She's a serious sprinting filly. Formality was great. Limestone was great. And as there's one for the future. And Dracary's, I thought, overachieved. Catchy got knocked down. But I think it's all about the ride on the winner. It was a great ride.
Yeah, it was genuine.
Yeah, thanks for that, Brent. Massive crowd here in attendance as we're waiting on the mares to arrive into the yard for the second of our Group 1s today. And this is the Weight for Age contest, the 30th running of the Group 1 Maya Classic over 1,600 metres, registered as the Empire Rose Stakes. Another big...
In particular, it's the filly, the lone filly in the field, Shoals. Of course, the first filly to win this race came about last year with I Am a Star, and they're looking to go back the younger generation here. The boys at Bet365, they put up $7, and you can see there on your screen, punters, Shoals is into $4.60. Very, very heavily backed. Now, Daisy...
And Heavens Above, next best, and I think, as I say, she probably should have won it last year. Terrific races. All
push punters is for Global Glamour, the Gay Waterhouse trained filly. She's a dual Group 1 winner over this trip, the mile. One of those was in Melbourne.
Go, Signal. And racing, Alakazam jumped away quite well. Global Glamour out quickly with also Silent Sedition. I Am a Star, and Shoals is forcing up. Sort of Light just behind those from Prompt Response, Alakazam. And they were followed by Dixie Blossoms. A length and a half, French Emotion. XT Now or Later from Danish Twist and Fox Play. Well back in the field, Heavens Above, and Flying Jesses towards the end of the field with also Daisy Doom. Global Glamour is the leader. 1,200 out by a length to Shoals. I Am a Star third from Silent Sedition. And they were followed next in the field by Sword of Light, who's over racing badly, passed by Prompt Response and Alakazam, and then X-teen. Dixie Blossoms on the outside of French Emotion, Now or Later midfield and deep from Danish Twist, Fox Play, then Heavens Above, Daisy Doom, and Flying Jesses last at halfway. 800 out, the leader is Global Glamour, tries to slacken it from Shoals the outside, Prompt Response, Silence Edition fourth the outside of I Am a Star, Alakazam next the inside, X-teen is out deeper, working up 4 deep, then Sword of Light and Now or Later, French Emotion on the inside. Well back in the field, Dixie Blossoms, Danish Twist and Flying Jess, and also Heavens Above and Daisy Doom. Global Glamour and Shoals straighten together. Prompt Response moves up as well at the 300. Silence Edition just behind them from I Am a Star, X-teen, Sword of Light. French Emotion working through, Now or Later down the outside from Dixie Blossoms. It's Shoals kicking away at the 150. A length Prompt Response, followed by X-teen, Dixie Blossoms. Shoals in front in the shadows from Prompt Response. Shoals is holding on. Shoals just wins, I'd say. Dixie Blossoms, X-teen and Prompt Response all there. What a go. Fox Play behind them, followed by Heavens Above, French Emotion. Global Glamour got swamped. Further back, Fox Play, Daisy Doom, Flying Jess, Danish Twist, Now or Later, Sword of Light, Silence Edition, Alakazam, and I Am a Star. Dean Yendall won the race last year with I Am a Star. He's on Shoals this year. She's pinned the ears back, gripped on for dear life, and I think she'll just win. She does. Just from Dixie Blossoms and Prompt Response in a four-way photo in the end. Shoals wins. Number 16, Shoals. Dean Yendall for Anthony Friedman at Mornington. The filly by Fastnet Rock. And after
look, I don't mind obviously riding these little fillies, but obviously my stature suits for the way they are. They're only little, I'm only little. I sort of just blend into them, and they barely even know I'm on top of them until I actually say, hey, let's go. Look, we began well. I used a little bit to cross over, come back and set off Timmy Clark. Travelled really sweetly. Probably pushed the button a little bit early, but I knew I had a 7 kilo weight difference on the rest of them, so I used that to our advantage and was able to kick clear and hold off the late ones late. So she got a little bit wayward late, which was probably told to do. She probably had a good look at the winning post, but massive.
Yes, exactly right. And of course, the race earlier in the day, 1:35.36, so very similar time, wasn't it? Obviously, the early fractions of the race I don't have handy, but that's going to be the guide. But what we do know is Shoals came through a very high rating race. We know how good Aloysia is. That's been proven. And here she is dropping to weight for age. She's taking on the older mares. She had to be tough late. She was. She held off Eckstein. It was terrific. Dixie Blossoms, wowee, what a finale. And Prompt Response, who had to do it tough, wide, no cover, was still there swinging at the end. What a really genuine...
Then you go and see this and you think, probably not.
Early sectionals of this race we'll have a look at when we dissect it a little bit later, but it was clearly advantage to be closer to the speed. I think the hard luck was Dixie Blossom. She got strung up in a bit of traffic. Corey Brown bursting through there in the pink and white with the white cap. I think she only needed 1 or 2 more bounds and she would have been able to get the Group 1. But Anthony Friedman and all involved with this filly would have been delighted. But Dean Yendall, he was...
Oh, look, I know I keep harping on about her, but I think there's a win in French Emotion not too far away. She was sneaking up on the rails there. Maybe she just has to come back a peg to a Group 2 race sometime in the next couple of weeks, but she's the one I want to be on going for.
Brenton Abdullah, Eckstein.
Yeah, she was terrific. Kurt presented her well and just lacked a bit of turn of foot half up the straight, but she tried hard.
Corey Brown, Dixie Blossoms.
She's a fraction unlucky. She got bottled up from about the 600 to about the 300, had nowhere to go. She dove through late. Fraction unlucky, but she ran well.
Karen McAvoy, Fox Play.
A nice effort. She was always coming in and finished well the last furlong and a half. I really do think that she enjoys getting her toe into the ground a bit more. You know, her autumn form's that little bit better than what she's been giving, even though she's been running well this spring. So she finished closer.
Global Glamour, Tim Clark.
Yeah, just had to press her a bit early from the inside draw, and she just over race and found wanting second up at the end of the mile.
Ben Mellum, Daisy Doom.
I thought she ran really well. The barrier was no help to her and just sort of got caught on her wrong leg a little bit. So
Caitlin Mallion, Silence Edition.
Yeah, had a beautiful run in the race. Before I knew it, I was hard riding and the others got away from me. Really unsure why she went so poorly, but obviously something's wrong.
Blake Shin, Prompt Response.
Yeah, super proud of her. You know, she drew 14. I think that probably got her speed today. But I think she's certainly got a Group 1 now.
Craig Williams, Now or Later.
We had able to get on the back of the eventual second horse, and after straightening and balancing up, I felt like she's travelling well enough that she's going to let down, and I thought she could win the race. But once I put her under pressure, she didn't live up to our expectations or our thought of where she could be today. So it was a good run, but not as good as...
Brad Rawiller, French Emotion.
She was great. Just from the 600, we needed some luck to get into the race, and we didn't get until late, and she was terrific through the line.
Copped a shot with Shoals in front. That's Dixie getting through on the outside of Prompt Response and just missing out. All right, boys, take us through it.
Yeah, well, it was all about the way this race was run, I would suggest. He capitalised Yendall. He knew he was on a filly with 50 kilos. He knew he probably had a leader in Global Glamour there. And he just said, bang, I'm straight outside the lead here and hope we get a little bit of a rest. And they just went, we had a look at them figures there, Mark, and it was just nearly impossible for the back markers there. The quickest furlongs were between the 6 and the 4 and the 4 and the 2. So it made
it very hard for horses back in the field. So all honours with her. She capitalised on a good run. And although you'd say, oh, Exdene 3 wide, at least she had 3 wide with cover on top of the speed with an uninterrupted run. Prompt response was 3 deep, no cover facing the breeze, and still run a good 4th in that race. So, and Dixie just got held up for that stride and could have been a hard luck story. But you could go through that field. Fox Play wasn't suited. Heavens Above wasn't suited. There's a number of horses there that could have been a different race if the speed was on. I think French Emotion was another.
Amy Victoria Derby. Stay with us here on racing.com.
Where the speed comes from will be intriguing. Looking at my selections, I've gone the way of Tangled to beat Astoria.
This is the big one of the day. The Amy Victoria Derby Group 1 level, 2,500 metres. The horses are in the yard. It's time for a market update.
A good betting race, and it's very hard to pick a winner. The punters have spread the money. Ace High early favourite 480 is out to $7.50. So as we look at it, there's been a little bit of support around for a few at some odds. But Tangled, it's been solid. Don't be deterred by the $8. There's been plenty of money put on Tangled in this one. Astoria is the one you want to pay attention to, the 3. Early price 17, did touch $9.50, now into $8.50. Grey Cliff also the early
in prize money on offer. The horses are parading. Number 1 is Ace High for David Payne.
Dollars you'll see there. So our favourite Ace High has also come back into $7 and still favourite in the market. But as you can see there, Astoria is a 9.
Ready for the Derby. Set. All clear, and they're racing. Ocean's 14 in the middle, jumped away well with Ace High and Astoria. Also pushing up is Tangled. Johnny Vinco's closer today, and Sully's also going to force forward on the outer. As they reach the judge, it's Tangled just in front of Ocean's 14. Johnny Vinco, Ace High the inner, Sully out deeper. Grey Cliff 3 deep into that turn. Weather With You is overreacting in the middle. Astoria on the fence, then Eshtarak Pissarro. Next in the field is Rockerell, then Justice Faith Abero. Nothing Two came main stage second last, and Wolf Tone whipped them in. Heading towards the 1300, Johnny Vinco has company as Weather With You whips up and takes the lead now. So Weather With You looking to turn this into a staying test. Goes to the lead from Sully, who was caught wide. Gets over to second, one off at the 1200. Johnny Vinco third, followed by Grey Cliff. Tangled the outside of Astoria. A length Ocean's 14, followed by Ace High, who's midfield and deep. Pissarro the inside from Eshtarak. Then came next in the field, Nothing Too Hard. Justice Faith as they slow it down mid-race, followed by Abero. Then came on the inside Nothing Too Hard from Rockerell. Next in the field, just ahead of those now, Rockerell from Main Stage and Wolf Tone. Coming up towards the corner, 650 metres to go. The leader is Weather With You by 3/4 of a length to Sully and Grey Cliff. Ocean's 14 on the outside. Johnny Vinco behind them. Astoria needs a run. Ace High's the widest into the straight. Eshtarak's going to go even wider now. Followed next by Pissarro and Justice Faith. Weather With You just in front of Sully as they reach the 300 metres. 2 lengths Astoria, Johnny Vinco, Ocean's 14. Ace High and Eshtarak down the outside, and Main Stage runs on. Sully at the 200 metres takes Weather With You. Ace High in the middle, followed by Astoria. Main Stage. Sully grabbed by Ace High. Sully and Ace High at the 100. Ace High takes the lead from Sully, then Astoria, Pissarro, but it's Ace High. Ace High has won the Derby. 2 lengths. Second Sully. Third Astoria, fourth Pissarro or Main Stage, then Abero, Wolf Tone. Further back Ocean's 14, Weather With You, Rockerell, Grey Cliff and Nothing Too Hard from Eshtarak. Further back Wolf Tone, Justice Faith pulls up quickly. Johnny Vinco amongst the tail enders. Ace High, David Payne, Ty Anglin has won the Amy Victoria Derby. The colt by High Chaparral. The High Chaps love the trip and presented down the middle of the track. Sully was right there with 200 metres to go, taking the lead from Weather With You, but then it was Ace High just slowly but surely grinding Sully down.
It's obviously a big thrill, but I was thinking, man, I'm in trouble where I am around the 1,000, 800. I drew gate 3, just the pace of the race. That, you know, I've said how well he relaxes, but when you're in a bunch field like that and they steady up, when they took off, they just fired my horse up. And I couldn't hold him in behind him anymore, and I just had to count and just wait, let him roll into it, just try and hold on to him as long as I can to get the trip. If he's pulled up, he can do it again.
He was really seasoned up nicely.
Satisfying to finally win it.
Yeah, you know, we've run second with Presido, Criterion, he drew badly, and I always thought this is the right one. And the preparation's been fantastic. We never had one hiccup, which doesn't usually happen. We even got the draw, so it just worked out perfect.
He's a special horse because there's only been now 4 horses, including your horse here, that have won the Spring Champion Stakes and the Derby. It's a tough double to do.
Yeah, well, that's why we didn't run him in between. You know, I said to John, one race too many. You know, he's had 2 hard races. We can prepare him at home, and it's worked out. He had fresh legs.
He's certainly gone to Wellington potentially in 12 months' time for Ace High. Would he run in a Melbourne Cup?
Why not? You know, we can't die wondering. If he's around still and he's sound, we'll have a crack.
Well done, David. 6 months away from fully realising his potential, because he's come a long way in a fairly short period of time.
Look, it's a really good point, and I think none of us know what his ceiling is yet. I mean, he's only been on a sprint trip 3 times in his life for 2 Group 1 wins and a terrific lead-up win, and he hasn't had the most peaceful time in the run. Even today, the first 1,000 metres, he's racing fiercely, he's overdoing it. He's drawn barrier 3, he's had to do it without cover for probably the last 800 metres of the race, and he's surged away to win by 2 lengths. I mean, he was the dominant athlete on the day out of this race, and obviously a really exciting future.
Yeah, he was sold through the Magic Millions yearling sale.
As Long Classic Astoria did a really good job.
Yep.
Obviously, Sully there up on the pace kept battling, and we thought Pissarro might stay for a while, and was quite competitive.
Agree, and it's interesting, you know, looking at the race, and look, we haven't been through it obviously forensically yet, but there wasn't much between second through to about sort of 6th. It was pretty sort of even. Where their future lies is interesting. Who's going to take the next step, put their hand up, next prep and mature and grow? I don't think many have more upside than Ace High, but out of those others, I've got a lot of time for Astoria. He's got a nice future, and Sully's still putting it all together, isn't he?
Yeah, that's always unfair.
Hugh Bowman, Sully.
Yeah, very pleased with his effort. You know, no excuses. The winner was too good today, but I can see my horse really improving come the autumn.
Luke Knoll. Karen McAvoy, Eshtarak.
Loomed on the back of the winner, Ace High, and then just levelled out the last furlong, so he probably didn't stay the trip.
Mark Zara, Weather with you.
Look, he's just too keen in parts of the blinkers, so going forward, take them off.
Michael Walker, Main Stage.
Super run. I thought I was the winner top of the straight. Got 2 lengths of the eventual winner, and he petered out. Maybe a year too soon.
Basically left the rest of the field for dead. The interesting point here, you see in Main Stage, he's gone right back to last and starts following a Biro and still stays on the back of this particular runner for some time. And then once he starts to pull out, he makes significant ground from the 800 to the 600, 600 to the 400, 400 to the 200, but then basically he's run Peters, because at this point, look at the dash that he showed Main Stage, and he looks like he's basically going to go past Eshtarak. He looks like he's almost going to level up with Ace High, and you'd think here he's going to run into the placings, but just now his run starts to end and he runs out of gas and finishes about 5th.
Yeah, 100%. And you see Tangled back there, if you were keeping an eye on him as well, he just finds all kinds of traffic, runs up about 5 or 6 bums, and didn't have too much luck in the straight, but that's the price you pay when you...
3, so it's obviously a really good lead-up for the Derby, but a strong staying performance, a trouble-free ride for Ty. He got shoved a bit wide, but he knew he was on a good thing and rode him like one.
Lizzie Ewan.
The 300 metres, 2 lengths Astoria, Johnny Vinco, Oceans 14, Ace High and Eshtarak down the outside, and Main Stage runs on. Sully at the 200 metres takes Weather with you. Ace High in the middle, followed by Astoria, Main Stage. Sully grabbed by Ace High. Sully and Ace High at the 100. Ace High takes the lead from Sully, then Astoria, Pissarro, but it's Ace High. Ace High has won the Derby. 2 lengths, second Sully, third Astoria, fourth Pissarro, or Main Stage, then a Vero Wolf Tone. Further back, Oceans 14, Weather with you, Rockerell.
A dominant 3-year-old. He was the best stay enough. Simple as that.
Yeah, look, they decided to ride him a little quieter there yesterday, and he certainly settled well enough, and he just got shoved out a little bit there, you know, coming to the 800 there, but Ty didn't panic, and it just took him a while to pick up. But boy, can this bloke stay? Could he be back here next year as a 4-year-old, you know, being a Cups type? Possibly, you know, he's got nice racing style. We know he's got staying prowess, and that was a dominant winner. He's an improver, Sully. Sully is just a little immature still, and I thought Bowman made the right
mile worth $1 million, and looking at and Egg Tart, there's going to be plenty of talk about this race, whether Tom Melbourne can get the job done as we head back out to Shane.
Toast and Stardom, 5 into $4.80 in favourite now, and Tom Melbourne also $6 into the $5.50. All Our Roads has had some really good support into $9.50. You'll see there, opening quote was 16, but 11 into $9.50 late. Also, kept very safe Sovereign Nation at the $10 in this, but the top two certainly had in favour.
And give you a great side each way. Egg Tart is a live danger, about ready to win. Lucky Hustler's win was too good to ignore last time. Chalet's run was too good to ignore last time.
With All Our Roads into $8.50. So it's been a big go, All Our Roads, taking plenty of bets on that at odds. They got the price, they're happy with that.
Lucky Hustler goes in, and they're set for the Kennedy Mile. Ready to jump. Gates crash. Racing. Sosibon flops out. Lucky Hustler goes back to the end. All Our Roads began quickly and is the initial leader from Tom Melbourne, Radipole, Dibiani and Shillelagh 50 inside. Next in the field is Windspell, who progresses to midfield. Sense of Occasion on the outside of Sovereign Nation. Ome sought out deeper on the track, is trying to improve its position as well. Gets to about 8th. Then Toes and Stardom, Egg Tart and well back McCreary, Sosibon and Lucky Hustler is last. So with about 1100 to go, All Our Roads by a length Radipole, 2 lengths away Tom Melbourne, a couple of lengths Dibiani, followed by Shillelagh 50 inside, a length and a half Ome Sword and Windspell from Toes and Stardom, Sovereign Nation, Sense of Occasion, Egg Tart well back in the field, McCreary, Sosibon, Lucky Hustler last, 20 off the leader, All Our Roads coming up towards the turn, 600 out, All Our Roads 3/4 to Radipole, 2 lengths to Tom Melbourne, third every chance, Dibiani next the outside of Shillelagh from Ome Sword, further back Windspell, and then came Toes and Stardom, Sovereign Nation about 10 off the lead, then Sense of Occasion, McCreary, Sosibon, Lucky Hustler, All Our Roads in front by a length to Radipole, approaching the 300 metres. Tom Melbourne moves up on the outside, Shillelagh runs on, followed further back by Dibiani and Ome Sword. All Our Roads at the 200, Tom Melbourne and Shillelagh go together. Tom Melbourne kicks in the middle and Shillelagh stride for stride at the 100. Shillelagh gets its nose in front of Tom Melbourne. Shillelagh in front, hands and heels. Shillelagh from Tom Melbourne, second again. 3 lengths away, third. Windspell from All Our Roads, Radipole, then Ome Sword. Next, Sovereign Nation, Toes and Stardom. Sense of Occasion, Sosibon, Dibiani, McCreary and Lucky Hustler. Shillelagh for Michael D at 12.20 and 3.40. A deserved Group 1 success for Michael D after he had the ride on Amelie Star in the Caulfield Cup, which he lost, and now a Group 1 success for young Michael D, for Chris Waller, who almost had half the field. This Savabeel mare placed in the Tristark in the lead-up, third up today, and just was punched out hands and heels. She's shown terrific improvement through her preparation. Well, Tom...
Feels great, Dean. I just can't believe it, and I was very lucky to pick up the ride for Mr. Waller and the team. 52 kilos on her back, and never once in the race that I thought I wasn't going to get beat, because she just towed me everywhere I wanted to go, and yeah, it was too good.
You nursed and nursed and nursed. Standing fashion, denying her stablemate Tom Melbourne, who's run second yet again. And third has gone to Windspell. A numbers hit here. As you've mentioned in the lead-up run at Caulfield, she was terrific against the bias.
Yeah, she's fresh legs. She's third up into a spell, and look, a lot of these horses have had long campaigns, as Tom Melbourne has, as a few of my runners have. So I guess you could take that as a bit of a positive. But you're getting the rap from Joe Moreira last.
Managed to be close to the speed, and the mare with the big booming finish in Shillelagh, she'd been getting a long way out of her ground in some shorter races. Good barrier, settled on the back of Tom Melbourne, and she was always going to be in the prime position from that point.
Yeah, if there's one spot you wanted to be in the run, it was following Tom Melbourne, because he was always going to take her into the race, and he's, you know, without being rude to him, he doesn't win out of turn, does he? Let's put it nicely. So I think it was a very clever ride to track him into the race, get off his back at the right time, and put the pressure on at about the 250.
And that's now 5 seconds this campaign for Tom Melbourne, and 2 of those have been at Group 1 level. Winning jockey, though, Michael D.
Mine, thanks.
Damian Lane, Toes and Stardom.
Yeah, on face value, I probably feel a little disappointed with his run, but the track might have just firmed up a bit too much for him now too. He certainly never got to his top speed.
He showed plenty of acceleration. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with him in the autumn.
Glenn Boss, Tom Melbourne.
Yeah, what do you say? He gave himself every chance today, and he gave me a winning ride, but found one better again.
Corey, lucky hustler.
Oh, look, wide barrier against him. Had to go back, didn't go that hard, and never got into the race.
Jeff Lloyd.
Pretty well. A little bit keen. Probably better, getting a better cover.
Craig Newitt, Sosibon.
No, he's disappointing. He slowed to begin, and then from then on just didn't seem interested.
Brother Pole, then Ome Sword. Next Sovereign Nation.
So it was Shillelagh beating Tom. Ron Duffy.
Shillelagh, well, she's just flying this preparation, and I think it was the plan to run her in the mire, and she didn't get in the race, and it turned out to be a blessing there. This is a real go-to lightweight jockey, isn't he? This D. He's ridden a few Group 1 winners now. He's,
two. One in Sydney and now one down here.
Yeah. So, look, he got the job done there, and look, she's just been flying all the way through. Poor old Tom. I mean, I'm starting to feel sorry for him. I really am. That was his race there. Everyone went the early crow. He was off and gone for the prize. Everything was beautiful for him. They've just got to do it. They've just got a fresh approach. Take him to Perth. I reckon they should take him to Perth. Tom Sydney. Just
change his name.
Change his number. I'm all for that.
Tom Sydney, diff state.
Yeah.
Munsey's done a fortune on the promotion they had, the $350 to run a place. Tom Melbourne. Did you see that?
Yes.
$50 maximum.
Yes. Yeah.
$350 a place.
Well, that's good news out of the race.
A few people thought it was the bet of the year.
So as we look at the lucky last year, Man from Uncle right in it as well, $9. Did touch $6.50 back out to $7.50. Bonds away, solid $9.50. And I mentioned that little push for Sweet Cherry down the bottom there, $11. So as we look at it, Rich Charm been well supported in the market, $7.50 to $8.50. And Man from Uncle, $8.50 as well. And Bonds away.
Multiplier. Gates Crash racing. Sweet Cherry from the middle jumped away very well. One of the initial leaders with Malibu Style. Ravi's quite close. Bonds Away isn't too far away on the premises as well. The Monstar is driving up. So the leader is Bonds Away from the Monstar, Ravi, and then came Malibu Style the outside. First among equals behind those horses. Followed then by Lope de Capio. Further back in the field, Sold for Song on the inside of horses. Sweet Cherry out deeper with Keener Ray. Illustrious Lad is tracking Sweet Cherry, followed by Miss Rock with about 3 behind it. Rich Charm is one of those, and Le Cordon Bleu as well. So they link onto the course proper at the 550. It's Bonds Away in front by a length. Sweet Cherry, Malibu Style. The Monstar behind those with Ravi, followed by Keener Ray. Le Cordon Bleu down the outside. Rich Charm has about 5 lengths to make up. Sweet Cherry on the outside of Bonds Away as they reach the 300 metres. Then the Monstar, Ravi, Keener Ray, and Rich Charm late down the outside. Sweet Cherry, Miss Rock drives through and takes the lead. Rich Charm late, but it's Miss Rock in front with 50 to go. Rich Charm diving. Miss Rock, Rich Charm. Rich Charm, a popular winner. Rich Charm wins it from Miss Rock and third the Monstar. Then a wall of them for fourth. Illustrious Lad, Ravi, Lope de Capio in no particular order. The Cordon Bleu and Man from Uncle not far off those. Followed then by Malibu Style, Bonds Away, Sold for Song. Next Keener Ray and Sweet Cherry pulls up quickly along with First Among Equals. Rich Charm at $5 and $2 has won the last. It is Rich Charm at $5 and $2 taking the last from Miss Rock and also the Monstar. Dane Rich out of Charmley, Patrick Maloney for Edita Clark at Cranbourne. Win 8 at start 17 has been successful.
For Paddy Maloney and Udita Clark, and at this point of the race he was in all sorts of trouble because the horses he was following weren't really taking him anywhere. He had to come out of the run, get to the outside fence, and then this horse he can just let go a really big 400 metre burst of speed, and Miss Rock looked like she was going to challenge back on the inside, but you look at him, he's got the big action Rich Charm for a little horse, and he was sensational, and some terrific scenes at Flemington in the final race.
What a way to finish Derby Day. I mean, we had the highest rated horse win the Derby. We had a nice one in the Carbine Club, Kick the Dove, a host of other stories, including Lover Lover, and then you get this to wrap the day up. It was a fantastic spectacle. Look, he's a winner. What can you say? He just knows how to win, doesn't he?
All 3 runs this campaign have been fantastic, and Pat...
He got some untapped ability, you know. Today he had no right to win. I was in a bit of trouble, you know, coming onto the course proper, and I thought, jeepers, where am I going to go on this horse? You know, I had a lap full of horse, and I pretty much eased him across 2 heels, and I said, it's up to you now, big boy. And he said, see ya.
Well done, Yedida. That is tremendous. She's hugging everyone. This is just wonderful. If you're not getting a hug from Yedida, you're not doing enough here on the races. I know you love him so much. He's a Group 2 winner now.
Oh, and I was just saying, because, you know, I nearly put him on the truck at 4 o'clock and took him home, because I looked at all these horses walking around. I looked, he's come all the way from Queensland, and the other daughter that's come from Queensland today, just to see the horse. And Don's at home, he won't come. Anyway.
But you were going to send him home at 4 a.m. Why were you going to do that?
No, because I looked at all the other horses and I thought, they're so big and they're so strong. And look at my horse, he's like a little pony. And I just looked and looked and looked and looked. Oh, and I thought, no, let's go home. Let's go. Every other race I've coped. But today I have been, like, it's really got to me today. I can tell you, it's really got to me.
Well, from all of us here at Racing.com and all the punters that were on Rich Charm, thank you, Mrs. Clark, for keeping him at Flemington and not putting him on the float and taking him home. And our social media, including stages of the last race, and Yedida Clark watching it with in quite amazement over the concluding stages.
And Rich Charm late down the outside. Sweet Cherry. Miss Rock drives through and takes the lead. Rich Charm late, but it's Miss Rock in front with 50 to go. Rich Charm diving. Miss Rock, Rich Charm. Rich Charm, a popular winner. Rich Charm wins it from Miss Rock and Third the Monster in a wall of them for 4.
Well, she'd gone off early there, even turned away and stopped watching.
Wait,
and
is that what we need to start doing when we have a bet from now on? Just,
what's that?
I need to bury my head in your chest and say, righto.
That's enough. I'm glad you're out at the track and I was in.
Their comments on Rich Charm. Let's go to Yedida Clark, who they'll replay this over and over again. This is a great bit of television and a great moment in racing. Just watch.
And last night I had so many things go wrong at home, and I was up till 1:30, and I'm thinking, I just can't do this. This is ridiculous, and my stomach's churning. You've got no idea the pressure on me today, and I nearly put him on the truck and took him home before. I really did.
Was he a naughty boy again?
No, he was perfect. He's been perfect. But I went around and I looked at Keena Rain. I thought, look at you. You're a magnificent animal. And I look at my horse, and he's a little tiny horse. And no, we're going home. We're going to go home. I'm not staying here. And I'm pacing backwards and forwards. And I'm thinking, no. And then another one goes by, and another one goes by. And I thought, my God, you're so tiny. You can't do this. You can't beat horses like this. This is ridiculous.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's gold.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is
I'm
gold.
taking her back to Canada with me. She was adorable.
You can't have her. We want her. What about when she was going home? She looked at all the other horses and said, you can't win.
Her little pony there. Her little pony's a ripper little horse. He's a beauty, isn't he, mate?
Yeah, he just seems to be getting better and better, Rich Charm. I mean, I keep, you look at him and the way he's been going in the winter, he was winning races down the straight. And you just think, how good is this horse? Is he good enough to go through the spring? But she looks after him like it's one of her kids. Yeah. And just sleeps with
Mandan, Robert Hicks.
Going home, she looked at all the other horses and said, you can't win.
Her little pony there. Her little pony's a ripper little horse. He's a beauty, isn't he, mate?
Yeah, he just seems to be getting better and better, Rich Charm. I mean, I keep, you look at him and the way he's been going in the winter, he was winning races down the straight. And you just think, how good is this horse? Is he good enough to go through the spring? And